Welcome back. Now, we earlier showed you how to prepare and grow the mushroom spawns in a substrate. Now let's look at how to care for the mushroom while at the incubation stage.
So after planting, the bag is put on a shelf in the mushroom house. After it has been put on the shelf, it will take about 28 days and the bag will be completely white, right from the front to the bottom. It will be completely covered with a white mass. At this stage, what you need to do is to open and remove the rubber band to expose the bag to more oxygen, and then the house is, if there are windows, they are open so that there is more aeration in the mushroom house. So once it is exposed like this, there'll be watering, there'll be misting of the bag, and this is done by use of a watering can like this. This is a 16 liter. You can also get a 20 liter watering can to mist just the room to make it have high humidity and low temperature and increased ventilation within the room.
Once the growing medium is fully colonized by the spawn, it is normally a signal for the mushrooms to start fruiting. At this stage, the bags are normally exposed to cooler temperatures with fresh oxygen, high humidity, and low light levels. Fed by water and nutrients from the mycelium, the tiny pins rapidly grow and develop into full-size mushrooms in just 5 to 7 days. A crop of mushrooms can be harvested 3 times before the mycelium becomes exhausted, with a new crop of mushrooms manifesting every 7 to 14 days during this time. In other words, it takes about 5 to 8 weeks to grow 3 crops of oyster mushrooms, and all this can be done with minimal equipment or expertise.
In a period of about 1 week, the bags will start producing mushrooms. As you can see here, these are mushrooms at the pin stage. We call it pin stage because when you look at the head is big and then the bottom and the stem looks like it's thin like a pin. So in 4 days time, this mushroom that you're seeing here, oyster mushroom that you're seeing here, will be ready and it will be this big. You can see this big.
In addition to the white oyster mushrooms that can be cultivated, there are other types of mushrooms such as the blue oyster, brown oyster, gray oyster, red and pink oyster mushrooms.
And here in this production, we have what we call the white oyster. You can see it's very white, and also the gray oyster. When you look at this, is gray and this is white. So these are mushrooms that are edible and they are preferred by customers.
Among the 4 types of oyster mushrooms that are cultivated, Pleurotus ostritus is the mushroom that is most known by farmers. This is because it has the properties of adaptive and a durable storage. For a farmer to succeed in any mushroom farming, he or she needs to build a simple mud house and a few wooden shelves to utilize the vertical space available. The house should not be close to a cattle shed because the flies from the cattle can contaminate the mushrooms.
As you can see, this mushroom house has been lined with offcuts so that the temperatures can be quite low. But depending on the locally available materials, you can be able to decide which material is affordable for use in the mushroom house. The most important thing is to make sure that the mushrooms have the conditions that are favorable for production.
Mushrooms are usually harvested several times throughout its lifetime. What are harvested are usually called flashes and should be harvested at the right size, otherwise they'll become too big and rupture.
So when it is ready like this, the next stage is to harvest. And harvesting is very simple. It's not a complicated process. What you do is just hold the mushroom at the base, twist and turn. And this is a process that is normally done in the morning, so that if the mushrooms are to go to the market, they are placed in a clean bucket in readiness for taking to the market.
Mushrooms have numerous medicinal nutritional benefits such as boosting the immune system in humans, improving strength and body regulation. They're also rich in protein, cholesterol-free, and contains high levels of vitamins D, D3, D5, and A. They can be consumed in their fresh form or in dry or in powder form.
After harvesting, we take the mushrooms for either packaging fresh so that we take them straight to the market, or we dry them for the consumers who like the dried mushroom product. So I'll take you and show you how we do the packaging of the fresh mushrooms. So when we get our mushrooms from the farm, what we need to do is to cut the mushrooms so that we have removed the parts that have other foreign materials like the sugarcane buggers. And then as we cut it, we package it into the pannets. So we cut this part, and if there are any foreign materials, we wipe them just to make sure that the material, the food, is hygienic. When this pannet is full, it's 250 grams. We normally weigh using a digital weighing scale just to make sure that the weight is precise. After we have packed like this, we get a cling film to cover it. Get this cling film. It is ready for dispatch. Such a pack we sell in wholesale at 100 shillings to the grocers in towns like Eldoret, Kisumu, and Nairobi. So for a kilogram, we sell at 400 shillings at farm gate. But when we distribute it directly to the consumers, such a pack is 150 Kenya shillings. There are customers who also prefer the dry mushrooms. So for the dry mushrooms, it's only that we do an extra bit of slicing the mushrooms that we have already cut. We cut, then we slice, and we dry them in a solar dryer in the sun so that they are able to lose the moisture and dry. Once they are dry, you'll see they're like this. So they can easily bend, but they can also crisp. That means they have a moisture of about 10%, and this is good for storage. So this polythene bag is used for ensuring that the moisture content does not increase. So we just seal using a sealing machine, an electric sealing machine. So this is one of our packs of how our product will look like. We are able to supply this to the grocers, and at the same time we also supply this to supermarkets in various towns within Western Kenya and other places including Nairobi and even Mombasa. These mushrooms are preserved dry like this. We don't add any preservative, and they can stay for 1 year if stored in a cool and dry place. Mushroom, we can take it to a mill where we grind it into powder. This powder is used for making mushroom soup. We also do a porridge that is enriched with sweet potato. So we do sweet potato, mix it with mushroom powder plus sorghum, and that gives a very nutritious porridge because it contains the vitamin A from the sweet potato, and natural sugar from the sweet potato, and then the cassava will the sorghum will provide the necessary minerals, the fiber, and the carbohydrates for energy. And then the mushrooms will provide the proteins, vitamins, and a lot of minerals, and that makes it a very superior product for the whole family.
And that's where we end it on today's show. We hope you've learnt a lot in today's topic on mushroom production. We still have many more features lined up for you this week on Get It Right, only on KTN Farmers TV.